Good morning and welcome to the Vandal News Rundown. I'm Izzy Hadden.
And I'm Ramiro Vargas. Coming up, we take a look at a central building being closed on campus, the City Council election results, the impact of the farmers market, and how mental health issues impact athletes.
But first, student health has finally returned to its on-campus location after a year-and-a-half wait. Student health reopened its doors on campus earlier this week, and the Dean of Students, Blaine Eccles, revealed in an email to students and staff on Thursday that the clinic was opening and laid out all the hours and providers available.
Speaking of reopenings on campus, the intersection of 6th and Line Street is back open after being under construction since mid-July. This will reopen one of the main roads to campus and alleviate traffic.
Unfortunately, not all good news coming from the university, as the TLC ISA building is still partially closed after a transformer blew. Bryce Obeyed with the story.
The Teaching and Learning Center was evacuated last Friday morning after 18 inches of water flooded the building's basement. The building has been closed ever since, forcing all classrooms and activities inside to be relocated to separate locations. The flood was caused by a failure in the building's water filtration backwash system. Unfortunately, after the building's sump pumps failed to remove the excess water from the basement, a key electrical transformer was left damaged beyond repair. The TLC is affixed to the former Idaho Commons, which is currently undergoing the rebranding process to become the Idaho Student Union Building. The entire structure houses over 35 classrooms, as well as several offices and businesses. Idaho's Director of Communications, Jody Walker, says the university is keeping its head up.
The registrar worked super hard to make sure all of the classes had a place to be Monday, and to keep that list up to date, change things as they needed to be changed. The staff has been great. They've been relocated and are busy doing their work in various locations around campus. So everybody has been really, really great in helping come together.
Students trying to enter the building will be greeted by this sign, as well as a spreadsheet of classroom relocations and a campus map. This information, as well as updates on the building's status, can be found on the university's website. And has that been pretty difficult finding these relocated classes?
Yeah, so like the schedule that was posted online, there was like a bunch of different emails that went out about it, and it wasn't super clear, and then I had to scroll through the big list to try to find where they were. I had one that was like in the basement of the Pittman, which I didn't even know there was classrooms there, and then I had another one, 3rd floor of the Albertsons building, which also never been in there, so it's a little bit awkward.
The closure of the Idaho Student Union Building has not only been a burden on teachers and students who have classrooms inside, it's also left employees of Einstein's, Chick-fil-A, Qdoba, and the Copy and Print Center temporarily without a job.
Well, if the Copy and Print Center is closed for an extended period, I'm kind of screwed. I don't have any immediate ideas for employment.
The reopening of the building is entirely dependent on the replacement of the damaged transformer. The monetary damage caused by the flood is not yet known. Regardless, the amount is going to be costly for a university currently facing a $22 million budget deficit. For the Vandal News Rundown, this has been Bryce Obeyed reporting.
The university is working to have the TLC up and running to try to eliminate the inconvenience for students. In an email sent to students and staff from the university on Monday, they said that some power is being brought back online so classes can partially return to the building.
Even with this closure, they still managed to shuttle people to and from the polls last Tuesday.
That's right, Izzy. There was a huge push from the university to get students involved in this election. I had the chance to go to the polls and talk to voters about their concerns regarding the conservative candidates. Residents of Moscow are heading to the polls this election day as 3 city council seats are up for grabs. With city council having a huge impact on the community, voters made up of U of I students and Moscow residents share concern over the candidates on the ballot. Brandon Mitchell, James Urquidez, and Kelsey Behrens are just 3 of the 6 candidates running for the open city council slots, but have caused quite a bit of controversy with their endorsement from the Latah County Republicans. As Moscow City Council elections are meant to be nonpartisan, voters are concerned with the trio, who have been vocal about their opposition towards Moscow's anti-discrimination ordinance.
I would be in favor of rescinding it simply because it takes away from someone else's rights just because you're given special preference to a certain class of people.
Voters like Emma Takatori say that while Moscow has always been progressive, she's still concerned over the possible influence of conservative candidates.
Regardless of how blue Moscow seems to be, we're still in Idaho, we're surrounded by red, and there's a lot of people who have certain ideals and certain values that don't really match up with a lot of progressive or liberal values.
The polls will close at 8 p.m. this election day, and results will be confirmed on November 15th. For more information regarding the election, visit the City of Moscow website. For the Vandal News Rundown, I'm Ramiro Vargas.
The unofficial results show that Maureen Laughlin, Ann Zabala, and Sandra Kelly will take the city council seats. We'll update you when the results are finalized.
With the holiday season approaching, the University of Idaho is offering their holiday break bus service for students who don't have a ride home. The service makes stops in Boise, Idaho Falls, Portland, Tri-Cities, Spokane, and Seattle for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and spring break.
It's awesome that the university is offering these services for students to get back home, but not all students get to go home for break.
That's right, Izzy. College athletes have a unique and demanding schedule, as you know.
That's right, Ramiro. A lot of people see our wins and losses, but they don't always see the demands and responsibilities on and off the court that really affect our mental health. After the break, we'll take a closer look at how mental health affects athletes.
The Gator Boys are back. Midland.
Just because people say I've got a drinking problem.
Midland with two big shows.
Watching figure
Friday and Saturday, December 27th and 28th. Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort Hotel. Performing music from their upcoming album, Let It Roll. Available now. Get tickets at ticketswest.com. And VIP experiences available at midlandofficial.com.
No problem drinking.
Midland Live.
Student athletes have a lot of responsibilities. They're expected to perform in the weight room, in the classroom, and on the field. Oftentimes, all these responsibilities cause student athletes to put their mental health on the back burner. A recent survey conducted at the University of Idaho reported that 88% of student athletes reported feeling incredibly overwhelmed trying to balance all of their responsibilities. Cassie Johnson, assistant athletic trainer at the University of Idaho, says student athletes' mental health is just as important as their physical health.
Ironically, mental health and your spiritual health, wellness, all of that can affect the physical, and vice versa. The physical can affect those as well, and especially athletes, because you're competing all the time. It makes a difference, and so you want to care for the whole person, not just the physical side.
In the same survey, 80% of student athletes reported feeling like they need to hide their feelings because athletes are expected to be mentally tough. Johnson said when she was a college athlete, she struggled with depression and suicidal thoughts, but didn't feel comfortable talking about it because there was a stigma surrounding it.
There was this idea that if you talk about it, that means you're weak. I think that's the biggest one, is that you're weak if you talk about it. And we have this idea that athletes are supposed to be above all, that they need to be strong at all times, that you're working to be your best, and you are, but that doesn't mean you're not human.
In the past 2 years, the University of Idaho Athletic Department has put a big focus on mental health awareness through requiring suicide prevention trainings for athletes and staff and creating a partnership with the Counseling and Testing Center. Lizzie Klinker, a senior student athlete, said over the past year or so she has seen the stigma around mental health diminish.
Especially in the training room and within your coaching staff, I've seen an improvement of student athletes being more willing to open up about their health and seeking help.
The Big Sky Conference has also got on board with mental health awareness by introducing Green Games, which are like pink games that promote breast cancer awareness, but for mental health. Idaho and schools across the Big Sky will participate in Green Games this year. For JM 422, I'm Izzy Hadden.
You know, Izzy, mental health is an important issue to talk about, but it can be difficult at times. It's important that students know that they have a resource on campus, which is the Counseling and Testing Center.
That's right, Ramiro. There are also a lot of other resources on campus to help students and athletes with their mental health. In other news, the farmers market has just ended for the season, and with that comes a lot of discussion about the impact it has on the community. The market is a weekend staple for any student at the University of Idaho or community member here in Moscow, but many are unaware of the impact students have on the market and overall local economy. Earlier this month, many community members attended an information session put on by the UI Extension, where they learned that while the market brings many of the Palousas' permanent residents to Moscow, students do play a role in its success.
U of I and WSU are so significant to our local economy that their well-being affects our whole economy and therefore actually has an impact on our market.
As conversations regarding the state of university life remain a constant among students and community members, rest assured that the farmers market is expected to increase in the coming years.
You know, Izzy, with the seasons changing, it looks like I'm going to have to find a warmer activity for my Saturday mornings. Today's forecast in Moscow is a prediction of showers with a high of 51 and a low of 38. Looking ahead to this weekend, there is a 40% chance of rain, with temperatures staying around the high 40s.
That's all the time we have for this morning, but coming up on tonight's broadcast, we take a look at a big health problem concerning teenagers, vaping.
For the Vandal News Rundown, I'm Ramiro Vargas.
And I'm Izzy Hadden.
And we'll see you all next time.